Let's build Vanquish Soul!
Fight!
And welcome back to Let's Build, YugiTube's most competitive deck building show. I'm Hardleg Joe, if you didn't know, joined as always by Twitch Chat. How you doing, Twitch Chat? You having a good time? Who's your main? Who's your best fighting game character? Obama, Ryu, Cloud, Sub-Zero, man after my old heart. And yeah, that is relevant today because we are playing Vanquish Souls, also known as Versus. They got VS because they're themed after fighting games. The fighting game archetype is finally here on Master Duel, and it's time to learn them because while they're not like the best deck by any means, they are probably in like the top 5 decks right now. They are very powerful, especially with all their support. So it's good to sit down, figure out how they work, so you know how to defeat them. And yeah, if you're unfamiliar with this show, that's what we're doing. This is a blind deck building show, which means I am not going to give you the best Vanquish Soul list, or even necessarily a good list. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is sitting down, reading over all the cards, explaining how they work in common language, and then also sort of explaining the theming behind it. So we're going to be going into this blind together, but I have years of Yu-Gi-Oh experience, so I should be able to figure this out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and drop kick into it. Alright, so as always, we're going to be reading over all the cards here, and the question we always find is where to start. Chat, you've been here for a few of these episodes. Where do we always start when it comes to reading cards? The field spell! That's right, some of you have it right, and some of you are also pointing out they don't have a field spell. Gasp! What will we do? Chaos reigns, that fox was right. But no, it's fine, because I'm being told that they have a Link 1, and the Link 1 is the field spell. I mean, it doesn't look like a field spell, it looks like a guy, but he's like made of rocks, and fields are made of rocks. So I guess we're gonna start here. Generally, if you don't have a field spell, you do want to start in the extra deck anyway. Although, usually that's because they're boss monsters, right? Like, they're the payoffs. But this is a Link 1. This is not a payoff. Usually this searches the field spell. So this is probably a starter, and I don't think it will give us a great glimpse into what the archetype will do, but we'll see, we'll see. So we've got Rock of the Vanquisher, a rock type, Link 1 with 0 attack and 1 arrow that points down. It requires 1 Vanquish Soul monster and cannot be used as Link material. So probably not a Link spam archetype, although at least they gave you the down arrow, so I guess after you make this, you could still make links in the main monster zone if you want. That's nice of them. While you control a Vanquish Soul monster, your opponent's monsters can only target monsters you control with the highest attack. Their choice if tied, 4 attacks. During the main phase, quick effect, you can activate 1 of the following effects. Special summon a Vanquish Soul from your hand, add 1 Vanquish Soul from your graveyard to your hand. And you can only use the effect of Rock of the Vanquisher once per turn. So yeah, definitely not the payoff, not part of your win condition. It seems kind of like a starter. I guess it gets high level monsters out of your hand because any low level can turn into this, and then this can summon the high levels. Or it can get ones out of the graveyard. So like if you have a high level monster stuck on the field, you can turn it into this, and then grab your starter back out of the graveyard and normal summon it. Something like that. That's what I'm imagining. So from there, I think what we want to do is go ahead and look at the monsters. This is the fighting game archetype. I imagine the monsters are very important. And when it comes to decks that are mostly main deck monsters, usually the higher level ones are the boss monsters. So we're still trying to figure out what the payoff is, what they're actually going to end up doing, so we can sort of build towards that win condition. So let's go ahead and start with their highest level monster, Vanquish Soul Caesar Valius. This is a level 8 dragon type monster, so this is not like a rock archetype. I'm surprised they're not all warriors. I feel like warriors would be the best for fighting games, but what do I know? 3,000 attack, so he's a big boy. And during the main phase, quick effect, you can return 1 non-dragon Vanquish Soul you control to the hand. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Additional quick effect, you can activate one of these effects by revealing monsters in your hand with the listed attributes. If you reveal Earth, This face-up card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects this turn. If you reveal Earth, Fire, and Dark, you can destroy one other card on the field. And then you can only use each effect once per turn, and cannot activate more than one in the same chain. Okay, well that's good to know. You get to activate both effects, you just can't activate them at once. So yeah, we've got a high level one that summons itself, which really has me questioning what Rock of the Vanquisher is supposed to do, because this has no problem getting itself out. You don't need Rock of the Vanquisher. If you've got this in hand, any Vanquish Soul becomes this, at quick effect speed, so it can dodge out of targeted removal. And then for that, you got a 3000 beater that can either become unaffected or has a non-targeting destroy, which is pretty good. I'm not sure if it's like game-winningly good, but maybe if you can use this with a whole bunch of other stuff, it might work. I'm also not sure how difficult it'll be to reveal Earth, Fire, and Dark, but I guess we'll see. This is an Earth, so another copy of itself makes itself invincible. And then if you get the other ones, you can do it. And from what I understand, as far as like the theming, most fighting game characters have combo moves that are like you press a series of buttons and they do a thing. This is supposed to represent like he has two moves, a block and a pop. One is like press the E button, the Earth button, by revealing it in your hand. And the other one is like Earth, Fire, Dark. You put in that combination and he does a thing, which is kind of neat and kind of interesting. I feel like the playstyle would require you to keep a bunch of cards in hand. But again, I guess we'll see. This is certainly one part. It's not like the win condition. This is not an ultimate conductor Tyranno. But in combination with other stuff, I could see this being good. Let's go ahead to the next card, Vanquish Soul Heavy Borger. How do you explain fighting games to an American? Alright, so it's like a Borger. So this is a level 7 machine with 2500 attacks, slightly smaller on everything. We've got another different type. I'm guessing all of these are different types. And it's a dark attribute, which is important because that means it works with the Caesar Valius. So during the main phase, quick effect, target one non-machine Vanquish Soul, return to the hand, special summon it from the hand. Alright, I'm seeing a theme. The question is, can they all do this? Let's take a moment. No, that does not have the same summoning condition. Neither does that. Neither. Okay, so it's just the two high-level ones, it looks like, that can tag out. And then in addition, it has these reveal effects. You can reveal one dark, draw one card. Well, there you go. That's how you maintain hand advantage. Put out Borger, draw a card. Free card advantage. You can also reveal Earth and Fire, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent, which, I mean, that's time in the round. That works in the TCG. Not sure if it's all that important in Master Duel, where I build the decks and where we play, but I mean, 1500's quite a bit. If you can get them low enough, or if they're stalling or whatever, it's nice that this essentially has like an alternate win condition. If you could just summon this and keep burning over and over again. And it's got the same, you can only activate once per turn and cannot activate more than one in a chain. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't really progress your game state that much. It is good to draw. You always want to draw cards, but it's not like these two are going to be going in tearing shit up, right? Like, this is removal, this is drawing. So, very interesting. Still no idea if I want to play more than one of these. Maybe you want to play both of three so that you have the attributes? But we'll see. We'll just go ahead and go down the line, shall we? Vanquish Soul Pluton Hug Guy. I'm gonna assume he's just a big huggy guy. That's what the HG stands for. This is a level 6 zombie with 0 attack, 0 defense. Okay, so not a beater at all. And this is the fire. We've been, so far, everything is reveal Earth, Fire, Dark, reveal Earth, Fire, Dark. So this is the fire. We've got the trio up here. Nice to see that they can have a tri-attribute archetype. That's kind of unique here. During your opponent's turn, if you control no monsters or only Vanquish Soul monsters in your main monster zone, quick effect, special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so it's just a free summon. What does this do? Quick effect, activate one of these effects by revealing the monsters. Fire, this gains 3000 defense until the end of this turn. Ugh. 3000 defense? I mean, I get it, it's not useless, but that's like the least proactive thing you could possibly do. Although I guess it technically is a hand trap. Like, if they wipe your field, you could just summon this and be like, 3,000 booty, get over it. And it's a quick, not even like main phase, you could summon this in the battle phase. And then you can reveal Dark and Earth. This card gains 3,000 attack until the end of this turn. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't seem all that great. I mean, if they had more links other than Rock of the Vanquisher, this might be good as an extender. But having something where, like, you've got to reveal these two to make it Caesar Valius? Why would you already had just summon Caesar Valius. That's a lot less work. Like, basically it has the downside of having 0 attack, and the effect gets rid of that downside. Anytime you have an effect where all it does is remove a downside to the card, not sure if it's worth playing. I'm gonna put that as a maybe. I'd be like, well, it is fire, you do need to reveal a fire, but you're gonna play Ash Blossom in this deck. Even if it's not good in the format, you know, it's a fire monster. In fact, you know what, let's just go ahead right now. Let's just put Ash Blossom, the good one. 3 of those. You need to reveal a fire? Might as well. Alright, let's go to the next one. Hopefully this guy is not as bad. Vanquish Soul Jiaolong? I don't speak Chinese very well. He's a fire. Okay, so we've got an alternative fire, and it's a level 5. 2,400 attack, so just barely worse than Borger, but still pretty good, and he's a worm for some reason. If you reveal a card in your hand to activate a Vanquish Soul card or effect, you can special summon this from your hand. Well, that's a very weird summoning condition. You don't have to reveal this, it's just if you reveal any card to activate a Vanquish Soul. It might as well just say, if you activate a Vanquish Soul card, you can summon this. And then quick effect, activate one of these 2 effects by revealing monsters. Either fire, change the battle position of 1 monster on the field, not entirely useless. 2 fire, add 1 Vanquish Soul card from your deck to your hand except Jiaolong. Okay, well, we have gone and found it, chat. This is absolutely a 3 of. Anytime you have a card that searches, you want to play it at 3. And it's especially true of this because it's a fire that requires you to reveal more fires. So if you get more in hand, that's good. That means you have more fires in hand to reveal for his effect. Alright, so from there we're going to our level 4 monsters. We've got our normal summonables here, starting with Vanquish Soul Raisin. Got a fire warrior. The fighting game is actually a warrior. And another fire, so you really don't have to play the slime. You've got plenty of fires. 1,800 attack, not bad for a normal summon. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 non-warrior Vanquish Soul from your deck to your hand. Alright, just gonna stop there real quick, and we're adding 3 Raisin in. There you go, we got 2 searching cards. They're both going in at 3, at least for now. Some people in chat are like, maybe you don't want to play them at 3. In deck building, start with 3. You can always remove them if you need them. But if they're searching stuff, there's almost never a situation where you don't want to search more if you can. In addition to that, as a quick effect, you can activate one of the following effects. Reveal a fire. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. Alright. Fire and Dark. Destroy all other monsters in this card's column. Alright, more non-targeting destruction. That's pretty good. It is limited to the column, which means your placement is important. That's really interesting. So it can be used as a disruption because it's a quick effect, but you can't summon him as a quick effect. So it's really only useful if you go second. You can place it in a column, blow it up, and then if they try to negate it or something, and you've got Caesar Valius or this guy in hand, you can just tag him out to get out of the imperm or whatever else is trying to stop him. And then I guess if you leave him on the field and your opponent's dumb enough to play cards in his column, you can blow those up too. Oh, and chat is pointing out the Link 1 can summon him as a quick effect. So there you go. If you have it in your hand, which presumably you will, you'll be adding it back with these. So he can be used as removal, especially if you have another fire in the hand. But you have to have the Link on the field. So that makes the Link more important. I'm going to assume with how important recovery is, with how much you want cards in the hand that you're going to be using this every turn if possible. Alright, so moving on, we've got Vanquish Soul Pantera, which is a good band, I guess. And also, Big Long Leg. Wow, that seems like that would be like cutting off circulation. Just absolutely brutal. Big cape though. Fan of like tigers with capes, reminds me of King from Tekken. Although it's strange, the background is just her zoomed in. Is that the same for the other ones? I guess is that him? Are they all just like themselves in the background, but like zoomed in a whole lot? It's hard to tell, but it's very clear to see with her. They just zoomed in because they put her face up there. Anyway, we've got a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior, 1700 attack, 1900 defense. So not quite as good of a beat stick, but still pretty decent. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. Quick effect, activate one of these effects by revealing the monsters. Earth, this card cannot be destroyed by battle this turn, which I don't see how that's useful. Earth and Fire, destroy all spell traps in this card's column. Alright, real quick, was this just monsters? It's monsters in this card. I thought it was all cards in the column. Okay, so destroys monsters, destroys spell traps, which means Pantera, most likely like a side deck card. If you're in a format with a whole lot of floodgates or a whole lot of spell traps, maybe you want to play more than one Pantera. I feel like at least building this early on, we play one, we search it if we're against a spell trap heavy deck, and maybe if it turns out to be useless against something like, I don't know, Labyrinth, we just end up taking it out. Maybe it's just not useful at all. But we can at least play it at 1. It is an Earth monster. We do need Earth monsters, although, you know, there's another Earth monster that's pretty good. I've been saying in these Let's Builds how I don't want to include the same exact staple cards in every game, but it's really hard when Master Duel doesn't ban at Max C, and it's especially hard when they reveal a deck that allows you to reveal Max C in your hand and do stuff. Ghost Bell, people are saying, is also an option. Another hand trap that's Earth. We'll put that in the maybe pile while we're here, although I don't want to get too sidetracked while we're building. Okay, and our final level 4 monster, Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove. Well, a lady doctor. How progressive for the 1950s. We got a Fiend monster, level 4, 1200 attack, 2000 defense. And if this card is normal or special summoned, add one Vanquish Soul spell trap from your deck to your hand. Alright, let's go ahead real quick. We're just gonna go to the Vanquish Soul again. Granted, I don't know what the Vanquish Soul spell traps do yet. We still have to read those to figure out if this is indeed a 3 of. But if even one of these is like good or worth searching or searches something else, then we're definitely going to want to play it. And then in addition, it can reveal one dark and one face-up monster loses 500 attack and defense, not useless, or reveal dark and earth, return one monster with the lowest defense on the field to the hand. Huh. Well, that's very interesting. So it's like a compulsory evacuation device if you've got dark and earth, but only for monsters with 2000 or less defense. So if you could special summon like a Cash Tier of Fenrir or whatever, that deals with this. But if you've got a very impactful normal summon, this can deal with that. And just like with Ryzen, you can get this, or Raisin, whatever, you can get it off of the Rock of the Vanquisher at quick effect speed if you realize you need to get rid of something. So pretty good, pretty good. I'm still going to tentatively put it at 3. Maybe we'll want to remove it, but that's all going to depend on the spell traps. So let's go ahead and check into the spell traps. Stake your soul. Your nose is mine. I saw that earlier today. It's very, very funny. I like that meme. Any meme where you can claim your opponent's nose, you know, pretty good. I don't know exactly what it means, but I like it. Anyway, what does this card actually do? It's a normal spell. Reveal one monster in your hand. Special summon a Vanquish Soul with the same attribute, but a different name from your deck. But return it to the hand during the end phase. You can only activate one Stake Your Soul per turn. Alright. So that feels like a 3 of, right? Like it's summoned out of the deck. And I guess the picture here is clear, you know. You reveal the earth, You summon the Big Earth. You reveal a fire, you get another fire. This gets you to that, and it's reveal any monster. So you can reveal Ash, summon Raisin. Raisin gets you this, or this. This gets you something. You've got Libromancer levels of like cards that search the cards that search the cards that search the cards. So that's absolutely a 3 of, and because Mad Love searches it, I feel like Mad Love is absolutely a 3 of. So we found it. The rest of these don't necessarily matter. That we're gonna read over them anyway for the sake of completion. Because we have a card that searches them, and a card that searches that card, and a card that searches both of those cards. So this is really a deck where you can afford to play a bunch of one-of spell traps that are barely going to be useful, because it's always going to be really easy to gain access to them.
A few moments later.
And chat has just pointed out, this is not a Vanquish Soul card. It is Stake Your Soul. So we cannot search it with Mad Love, unfortunately. They didn't give us the complete circle. Only Libromancers get that. Alright. Thank you, chat. That's why chat's here. Chat's here. Like, I could record this on my own, but I need chat to remind me when I miss very important stuff. The rest of these are Vanquish Soul cards, though, right? Yes. Okay, so we can search the rest of these. Mad Love's job is not safe yet, but we still play 3 Stake Your Soul. That's still very good. Alright, Vanquish Soul. Continue? 10, 9. And it's got the slime guy, which you probably don't want to continue with the slimy boy. He's not very good. So we've got a quick play spell, which means you can't search it with Triple Tactics talent. Pay 500, target a Vanquish Soul in your graveyard, add it to your hand, or special summon it in defense position. I mean, it's Monster Reborn. It costs 500 life points for some reason. It also adds to your hand if you just want to get one to your hand so you can reveal it for something. It sounds pretty good. I don't think it's like a 3 of necessarily, because we've already got the Link 1 that does this effectively. But again, searchable. For searchable, we could play it at least at 1. Alright, moving on, we've got Vanquish Soul Dust Devil. Another quick play. Target one Vanquish Soul monster you control, change its battle position. Then you can change face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position, up to the number of Vanquish Soul monsters you control with different names. You can only activate 1 Dust Devil per turn. So it's Book of Moon. It's change a monster to defense and Book of Moon. It's potentially more Book of Moons if you control more monsters. You don't have a whole lot of like special summoning here. It feels like you're gonna make Vanquisher, you're gonna special summon 1 from your hand. So at most you would have 2. It's interesting that you have to change your battle position. I'm guessing specifically so that you can't use it with just Rock of the Vanquisher. You have to do other stuff. But then everything else that's bigger like tags out. So at most you're gonna get a double Book of Moon, which is still pretty nice. And then potentially later on it becomes better. So yeah, I think that's worth at least playing. This is another one where it's like, this is good enough that I could see maybe putting 2. If you were playing in like the TCG, I would side deck multiple copies because certain decks really lose to it. The Link isn't a Vanquish Soul. Why this archetype have to do this to... You know, it wouldn't be that bad if it didn't have like Vanquished or Soul in it. Like, this is a Soul card, this is a Vanquish card, but neither of them are Vanquish Soul cards. Alright, so you're still just getting 1 Book of Moon until, like, next turn. But again, if you've got a Compulse and a Book of Moon, that's still pretty good disruption, although I'm not sure if you're going first in this deck. Alright, so there's all the spells. That just leaves us with the traps to try to disrupt the opponent. This will really determine if this is going to be a go first versus a go second kind of deck. And we'll start with Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. So reveal 1 each of Dark, Earth, and Fire in your hand, and then apply the following effects in sequence based on the number revealed. 1+, inflict 400 damage to your opponent, then special summon a Vanquish Soul from your hand. 2+, inflict 600 damage. This turn, Vanquish Souls cannot be destroyed by card effects. 3, inflict 800, then destroy all monsters on the field. Alright. Alright, you can only activate one per turn. This is not that bad. Granted, you gotta have 3 monsters in hand, but as far as, like, disruption goes, destroying all monsters on the field is pretty darn powerful, I will say. Non-targeting, but it is destruction, and it also does 1800 damage, I'm guessing, altogether. Gets you a monster, and then, but your Vanquish Souls can't be destroyed, so even though it says destroy all monsters, yours are going to be fine. Except for this one, who is not a Vanquish Soul, but the rest of your monsters will be fine, so I guess that's good. Yeah, this is definitely another thing that you play at least at 1. Maybe more? I guess it depends if we're gonna go on a full-on, like, go first deck. Which I honestly feel like maybe you could, with how many tools they're giving you to disrupt. Like, if you could start on just 1 monster, and then, like, a Snow Devil, a Dust Devil, and then continue get you into, like, Mad Love or Raisin if you don't already have it. Like, you could have, like, 4 disruptions on your opponent's turn, plus maybe a hand trap. The problem, of course, is that in order to activate your monster effects, you need to reveal monsters, which incentivizes you to play a lot of monsters and not very many spell traps, especially since everything's searchable yet again. So we'll see. Let's check out these other 2 and see what we've got. Here's Vanquish Soul Trinity Burst. Target 1 Vanquish Soul monster you control. Special summon up to 2 from your hand with different names from each other, neither of which has the same original attribute as the targeted monster, but negate their effects and return them to the hand during the end phase. You can then return to the hand all cards your opponent controls that are in the same columns as the targeted monster you control and the monsters special summoned by this effect. Wow, this was a roller coaster. This went like, you know, not impressive, what, very impressive. So it's a non-targeting triple bounce. But again, only if you have multiple monsters. It is up to 2, so as long as you just have 2. Man, can you imagine if this didn't negate their effects? Then this would absolutely be a go first build, right? Like, you would play 3 of this, and then you would just summon, like, Dr. Madlove plus Ryzen plus Valius, and then have, like, well, I guess then you'd have nothing in your hand to, like, negate stuff. Unless you drew a bunch of cards, too, now that I think about it. So you probably couldn't activate those even if they weren't negated. But, you know, maybe you max seed, maybe there's, like, a better draw engine or whatever. As it stands, I'm not really sure. Maybe in certain formats. I think this is probably the better one. I don't know. This one you need all 3 to do stuff. This is like a double pop regardless. So maybe this is better, although it doesn't inflict the damage. But this one, if you only have 2, you at least get a monster. And then your monsters can disrupt. But like, if you've only got 2, then you probably don't have monsters to reveal to use their effects anyway. This is actually kind of tricky. Building this is going to be more complicated than I thought. I think for now, though, I'm going to be contrarian. I'm going to say Trinity Burst over the Snow Devil. I'm going to see how that works. And then finally, we have a counter trap card. Vanquish Soul Calamity Caesar. When an opponent's spell trap card or monster effect is activated that targets a card you control while you control a Vanquish monster, negate the activation. If you do and destroy, then inflict damage equal to 1 attack of a Vanquish. Yeah, it was almost, I was like, oh, we've got an Omni Negate, spell trap, or monster effect that targets. The fact that it targets, no. Maybe if there was a targeting deck that was the best, you would side this in those matches. But there's not enough targeting going on at the moment to make this worth playing, I feel like. Yeah, and as chat is pointing out, if they had an effect that targeted, you could just tag out anyway with the high-level Vanquish Soul, so why would you want to negate it? You don't need to negate it. You have other ways to get around that. You can make your cards invincible. You know, I guess they can't all be bangers. Alright, so now that we've read all the Vanquish Soul cards, we have a pretty good idea of how the deck operates. And it's actually kind of a lesser-known strategy. It's what I would call an advantage deck. Basically, it wins by minusing your opponent and plussing yourself over the course of several turns. You've got a lot of cards that are searching you cards, and a lot of cards that are destroying your opponent's cards just one or two at a time. You can't put on a whole bunch of damage and attack. You can't make an unstoppable monster or a big floodgate. All you're really doing is just these little chips that over the course of enough turns, you eventually get everything you need. And if that sounds weak, I'll remind you that that's essentially the playstyle of Sky Striker. This is going to be a grindy deck, and you're going to kind of rely on a bunch of hand traps and a bunch of draws to get you there. Most likely using Borger over and over again, which is why I'm going to put in 3 Borger. Now, with that, there's a whole lot of decisions about how you could play this deck. I think what I want to try to do is go for the big blowout. That's probably not the best way to play this deck, I can almost guarantee it. Because in the few times I've played against this deck, I've never run into anyone with Trinity Burst. But if I was going to do it in a way that seems fun and interesting to me, that is how I would start. And then after I built the deck and tested it out and found the flaws, I would probably adjust it, maybe look at some other people's builds. But that's not what this show is about. This show is about building things blind. So what I'm going to do is play 3 of Trinity Burst. We're going to be on a go first build. And we're going to, because this works with just the Vanquish Soul specifically, we're going to play 3 of every name that's worth playing. We're going to play all those, and then we're going to see what we can add in to sort of increase our draw power, make it more consistent, so that we can add on 1, maybe 2 Vanquish Souls, activate this, lock our opponent down, and then push for OTK next turn. Alright, so the thing that immediately comes to mind, probably because I've been playing a whole lot of Scareclaw lately, is Cash Tiras. These are not the best deck. They're surprisingly not doing as well as a lot of people thought they would do on Master Duel. But Fenrir is still a staple, and it's also an Earth monster that's good going first or second. So we've got an Earth monster that, more importantly, searches a monster on summon. What we need in a deck like this is not only field presence, but hand presence as well. And the fact that this can search another copy of itself, get us an Earth monster on board, or potentially get us a Fire monster? Yeah, so we could play 1 Rise Heart and search it. And I haven't actually read this because I haven't used it in another one. If you control a Cash Tira, special summon this from your hand. Can't special summon from the extra deck except for Ixies. During the main phase, if this card was normal or special summon, banish a Cash Tira card from your deck except for Rise Heart. Banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and if you do this, this becomes 7. So it's a special summon next to Fenrir, who becomes level 7. So you can make other level 7s. That means you can play a Shangri-Ira. You can't really play a Rise Heart because we don't have 3 level 7s unless you get Borger. Maybe you could get Borger. You probably just keep it in hand for fire, but I mean, it also gives you access to Big Eye. You can play a Red Eyes. I mean, this deck already does have a lot of burn stuff, so if you're overwhelmed with fires in your hand, having these as options could be pretty decent. Yeah, so after thinking it over and looking over all the different pots, I think Desires actually has a pretty decent chance to work well in this deck. Every main card you're playing at 3, you've got a couple one-ofs, but they're not critically important to your game plan. Which our game plan is just, advantage, drawing cards, getting there. They give you extra cards in hand, and I haven't used it in a while, so we're going to try that, see how it works. So that leaves us with 4 cards left. Everyone's saying reinforcements of the army, and I mean that searches Ryzen, and Ryzen searches everything, so yeah, we'll do that. And that leaves us with 1 tech card left. Alright, looking at our attributes, we have 9 Earth monsters, we have 10 Fire monsters, which makes sense because fire is more important. But we only have 6 Dark monsters, and we really want to hit that balance. At least that's what I'm thinking. Balance that out and play 9 of each, so we're most likely to get a diverse set of all of them. Alright, so after thinking it through, there's several options we could go for. The Bestials are all dark monsters that you work as hand traps. DD Crow is an option. But Dimension Shifter is probably the strongest, hurts the most decks the hardest. Whether you're talking about Pearly, Lab, or Dragon Link, all 3 of those lose pretty hard to Shifter. They have a hard time coming back. Granted, it's only 2, so let's go ahead and put a DD Crow in there, shall we? Well, no, not a Crow. Crow is decent, but it doesn't get us field advantage. We really need to be able to close out games, so let's go ahead and put a Bestial. I think I'd actually prefer to go with Magnamut. You can summon this, puts on 2,500 extra damage, and then you get to search a dragon monster during the end phase, and Valius is a dragon monster. So there we go. We've got a pretty good set of monsters, a full deck, probably a little cheesy, maybe some things that don't interact the way we would like, but we won't find that out until we test. And then there's also the extra deck. I could maybe put that together, but I honestly don't know what I would even see or what kind of cards we're gonna have on the extra deck. So for now, I'm going to leave it blank while we test, and I'll try to keep an idea of, you know, if I find that I have 2 level 4s on the field, maybe I could put a rank 4 in there. Maybe I could put some link 2s or something. Who knows? Maybe just don't play anything. Confuse the hell out of your opponent. For now, though, since this is a go first deck where we're trying to set up something to see if we can, like, disrupt our opponent and then maybe OTK them on the follow-up, I'm just going to do this with some test hands. We're just going to be playing some test hands using the dang old AI, which is, you know, pretty useful. I'm here on yugioh Omega, by the way, if you're curious what program this is. Free download, check it out. You can duel, you can test hands, because Master Duel doesn't have a test hand feature. Alright, so we're going first, and we did not open with a fire monster, which is a damn shame, because that means the Stake Your Soul doesn't do a whole lot, not unless you have a fire monster. That being said, we might be able to get to one. Let's go ahead and stake our soul. Let's reveal Mad Love. That's a dark monster, which means we get Borger. In defense, sure, why not? Then we can use Borger, reveal the Mad Love, and draw a card. And Fenrir, and I have instant regret. Alright, so we can normal summon this. We get a search. We grab, probably the Dust Devil, right? Because this is just Book of Moon. We can set Trinity Burst. We have 2 darks on the field. So we can basically use Trinity Burst, reveal the Soul Pantera, summon it, bounce one of their monsters. So we've got a non-targeting bounce in whatever column we need. We've got a Book of Moon. We've got a bounce with Mad Love, depending on what they've got. Okay, I forgot that came back to our hand at the end phase. Either way, we're still in a pretty good position, you know? This can be like, oh, what, did you summon something? Let's return a monster to the field. I'll reveal a dark and an earth. So go back. Then we can activate the heavy Borger. Trade this out. Big hands come out. We activate the Borger. Reveal a card. Draw a card. Pot of Desires. And they're about to move into the next phase. Okay. Yeah, the test deck is mostly just like normal 1 monsters. But let's say they did have like a follow-up. They activated something. We can reveal this, summon this. Oh, I could summon up to 2. No, we're just going to summon this. And then we return that to the hand. Now it's a spell, so they can immediately activate it again. But, you know, if it was a monster or something, we could deal with it. And if they had a 3rd monster, we can flip it Book of Moon style. And wow, we got a whole bunch of stuff. And then it comes back. And there we go. So, you know, we had 3 disruptions either way, which is pretty good, I feel like, for a go first deck. And from here, it's just like everything. You know, assuming those 3 disruption could get monsters off the field. We can use this. We can get Xiaolong, because that's a free special summon. We can use this, draw 1 card, which means we can summon the fire. And then, how much damage is this on board? Well, we got 18. We got 25. We got 24. And then we can... This is only during the main phase. Alright, so what we should have done is not draw a card, but use Borger's effect to just finish them off we don't even have to do anything. Just go to the end phase, and then as soon as their turn starts... Yeah, that's a good point. Except we need a fire in hand, and we don't have a fire. Alright, so, you know, we're learning. We're figuring things out. I should have made Rock of the Vanquisher and then add Rise into the hand, and then we can burn, and then we would be good. But as it stands, we're fine, you know. We still have this. We'll shift this, and then put that face down. There we go. And then as soon... Look, it only took us like 5 turns, but we beat the deck that didn't do anything. For a deck that I'm still trying to figure out how it works, you know, we've got it. Add 1 from deck to grave. Get this back. Then activate the Border, inflict 15. There we go. But yeah, overall pretty good. I think that the Fenrir might not be great because you have to draw it first turn, and any turn after that, it's not as good. And it's only at 2, so the chances of getting it first turn, like, you're just as likely to get the other one. So maybe, like, Pankratops would be just as good. Although it would be nice to have different kinds of removal. Either way, I'm going to play a couple more. Let me see if I can get this consistently. Okay. So, Raisin, normal summon, grab the Fireman. Then we activate this. Yay. Activate, reveal the fire. Make myself invincible. That triggers the fire. Special summon. Then we make Rock of the Vanquisher. Rock effect. Add back the fire, so we have 2 of them in hand. Activate. Add 1 Vanquish Soul card. Snow Devil? I'm not even playing Snow Devil. Or Trinity in our case, yeah. In this case, I think I go for Border. Border reveal. Draw card. Set. I must discard. I guess we don't need 2 Mad Loves. Reveal a fire and a dark. Yeah, so I can use this. Special summon Raisin. Raisin effect. Get this one, so we have all 3. And then quick effect. Destroy all of their monsters. Reveal a fire and a dark. They don't have to know about the ash. We got a pop. Then we can draw a card. Activate a fast effect. Yes. Target the fire. Summon everything else. Go away. I should have waited until the end phase, but you get the idea. And then we can just, like, return this. Okay. I understand the Rock of the Vanquisher now. More than anything. Big attack. Big, lots of attacks. The gang's all here, chat. I've got them all. Like Pokemon, I have collected every last one of them. Gameplay loop, it's pretty neat. Alright, so after doing quite a few test hands, I think I've got a pretty good grasp on how the deck works, at least the basics of it. And while I still like this idea of turboing out Trinity Burst, we've got enough ways to search it, as long as we get our plays started, that I'm confident playing it at 2, even though there's still a chance that we can get it off of Desires. So we moved this down to 2. We moved the continue out because it kind of conflicts with the shifter, and we already kind of have a way to get stuff out of the graveyard anyway, so I don't think we really need it. And in its place, we ran 2 Infernoble Arms Durendal, which has quite a few lines of text on here, but essentially search a level 5 or lower warrior fire monster, which, what do you know, warrior fire monster. And equip it to one of our cards, we can equip it to one of our opponent's cards, get this into our hand, any monster goes into Rock of the Vanquisher, Rock gets this out, yada yada, there we go. So I've got a pretty good idea of it. From here, the next thing is to test it out. So we're actually going to take this into some duels, see what we can do there, and see if we can learn a little bit more before the end of the episode. Alright, so we're once again making use of the features of Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. We're fighting against a bot. They have AI bots here, and we're going to start easy with Yosenju's. This is a nice, like, go second deck. It's perfectly capable of destroying things, but it's a few years outdated. So it should give us a good idea of like what this deck can do against older decks in particular, how power creep has gone through. And let me think about this for a second. Who do I want to use the normal summon on? I think we want to go for Mad Love, because we want to maintain the fire in hand, because we'll already have a dark. Yeah. So we'll go Mad Love. Mad Love gets a card. Let's go ahead for, Trinity Burst? Yeah, because that's part of our win condition, essentially. So we're going to Trinity Burst, and then I'm actually going to trade it out for the Caesar Valius, because I want to retain this in hand. I've got 2 Caesar Valius, so I don't need both of them. And this is just going to go into Rock of the Vanquishers. We've already got an Earth in hand, it's fine. We're going to activate this, and we're going to special summon one from our hand. That allows us to get the Raisin. Go ahead and use the Raisin to search anything. And let's see, we're going to end on a dark. We're going to have a fire and an earth. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So I guess we just go for Xiaolong. Go for Xiaolong. We're going to activate the Borger, put the fire back into our hand. Summon Borger. In order to activate Xiaolong, we'd need another fire. So let's roll the bones, draw a card, see if we can get another fire. Not necessarily. But we're gonna go ahead and summon this anyway. 'Cause we can. Then we'll activate this. Now let's see if we can get another fire. There we go! 2 fires. The question is, do we banish everything we wanted? No. But we can activate this, add 1 Vanquish Soul from our deck to our hand by revealing this and this. We don't want to reveal the Ash if we don't have to. Be like, yo, what's up? We have 2 of those. And we still have the one of Dust Devil, and I think that's the one we want to go for. So, yeah, we're in a pretty commanding position from here. We've got the Ash Blossom. We're going to draw another card. We've got the Dust Devil to flip something face down. We've got the Trinity Burst to potentially send everything on the field back to the hand during any phase. And we can always special summon Ryzen to blow stuff up, or special summon Valius, because we've got the Dark, Earth, and Fire all in hand. This is pretty much the best you could hope for. And yeah, as soon as this starts, we're just going to draw a card. And I guess we could save the Zhao and switch something's effect. Oh, perfect! Just absolutely draw the Maxi? Sure. Now, Maxi won't be useful against, what's it called? Yeah, we'll just activate this here. Won't be useful against Yosenju's because they normal summon. They're basically the old versions of, Flu Under Ease. Ah, okay. So, we're going to go ahead and Dust Devil. Going to move that. And then change you to defense. End phase? Yeah. And then end phase, what we're going to do is activate Trinity Burst. We're going to target the Dark One. And we're going to summon Fire, Earth. Let's go here. And I guess here's fine. Whatever. Bounce back 4. Exciting. And then during the end phase, you know, just everything comes back. Oh, and I guess we might as well just, like, add a Vanquish Soul card while we're here, because we got 2 fires in our hand. So, there you go. Free card. What do we even want? Just another Borger? Just a big Borger man? Trigger? Sure, we'll summon another one. Why wouldn't we? Just get all the damage on board. And actually, I'm realizing there's one thing that might threaten us. So we're gonna stake our soul, we're gonna reveal the earth monster, and we're gonna do exactly... Alright, well, I was gonna summon the thing and pop the back row, but they had fucking magic drain. So instead they get that. But I mean, that's perfectly fine, right? Like, we've got this. This is like, what do we even need? We could get a Pantera again. She's here, you know. She's playing her music on the streets. Special summon one from hand? Sure. There we go. Pantera summon. For those who like her, there she is. And now she's going back in the hand for something with more attack. And then we're attacking for way more attack than your body has room for. And there we go. That's what the deck does when it works really well. Now let's see if we could find a slightly harder AI to play against. Alright, we're going to try this again, going first again against Virtual World. Virtual World, a lot newer deck than, you know, the previous one we did. And our hand is ass. It's just ass. Holy shit. We have hit Brick City. Discount Brick Warehouse. Is there anything we could do from here? So we're playing Caesar Vallius Control here, chat. That's just what we've got. Caesar Vallius and a dream. Okay, so they've activated the Lulu, they've targeted that. So what we want to do, even though it gives them a search, is deny them this. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's reveal the fire, let's reveal the earth, let's reveal the dark, and then let's pop the card so their effect doesn't resolve. And then, do I summon Xiaolong? I guess it gets another monster on the field. Sure, why not? It is also a disruption. I can reveal the other Xiaolong to change the battle position of something. If they go in for attack, it does something. They are not going in for attack, so it does nothing. It's almost there. Wait. Okay, we activate the Bestial. We summon this. Sure, I'll search in the end phase. Imperm. That is right all fine with me. Normal summon Pantera? You know, I really didn't think that this deck could OTK very well because it hasn't OTK'd me. I guess it's just the decks I'm going at are not very good, but you seem to be able to OTK on turn 3 pretty consistently. Alright, so there we go. You know, not the most competent opponents, but when you're first learning a deck, you don't really want to play against the strongest things out there. You kind of have to cut your teeth on weaker bots and stuff like that. And, you know, yugioh Omega does a pretty good job of that. Even Master Duel, the solo mode, can be useful for that. If you don't mind playing against Gem Knights or Plunder Patrol, kind of on par with what we're facing. And yeah, you know, even though we didn't end up making the best, strongest deck, even though I'm not the best pilot at the moment, I've got a good foundation. If I wanted to learn this deck, now I can go watch deck profiles and I'll understand exactly what they're talking about, what each card does, without them having to explain every single thing about it. And perhaps more importantly, next time I'm on the ladder and I'm facing Vanquish Soul, I know how to fight against it. I know where the choke points are, I know what I need to negate and when, and hopefully you do now too. And if not, I mean, consider trying out this yourself. You know, again, this is a free program. You could test out. This is a pretty nice time. For now though, I think I'm going to call it here. Hopefully you enjoyed. Remember to like the video if you did like, subscribe, chat, say goodnight to everyone. I'm done for now. I'm going to sleep. I'm taking a nap. And until next time, good luck and have fun.